Welcome, my friends. This is Aharon Dobinsky, Rabbi Aharon Dobinsky, coming to you today from the holy city of Yerushalayim, Jerusalem, in the beautiful country of Israel. I wish you could see it. It's absolutely breathtaking on this summer day. I want to talk to you today about something that one of my students brought up to me this last week. And I think it's something we gloss over far too often and don't handle with the degree of importance that is necessary. He said to me, Rabbi, I do Tikkun HaKlali almost every day. I said, every day would be nice, but almost every day is pretty good. He said, I also do Tehillim. I said, great. He says, I said, do you understand what you are saying? He said, oh, yeah, of course, I do it in English. Not Hebrew? I said, no, my Hebrew is not good. I said, fine, no problem. So you do it in English, it's fine. Do you understand what you say? Guy's name is Chad, and Chad said to me, yeah, I get it. Well, let's see if we can do a little bit better than that. Because, it tells us that we should know everything we are saying. Now, I'll be the first to admit to you that within all of the Tehillim, including those included in the Tikkun HaKlali, there are anagrams and all sorts of different plays on words that we don't get. We could study for decades and decades before we even get a clue as to what they're all about. But there are things that we can get on a more direct basis. Let me give you an example. In the 23rd Psalm, there's a line that says, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Well, if we're just reading through this, it sounds to us like we just repeated ourselves. Rod, your staff. But we didn't. Let's think about it for a minute. Your rod. What is a rod? A rod, you've heard the expression, spare the rod and spoil the child? A rod is used for discipline, usually. It's used to give us a little bit of a physical jolt so that we understand what we need to do. What's a staff? Well, a staff is something that a shepherd uses. He uses it to keep his sheep together, and they rally around it. It's a comfort to them. So your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Well, how could they both comfort you? The answer is, sometimes you need one. Sometimes you need the other. You see, sometimes we need the discipline. We need someone to tell us when we're getting off track, when we need to change what we're doing and get back to where we were before. Sometimes all we need is somebody to tell us, you're doing a good job, keep it up. That's where the staff comes in. So this is what we need to know. Now, just reading through this, I rod and thy staff, they comfort me. And you go, oh, yeah, I get it, I rod and staff, they comfort me. They comfort me. Why? Why do they comfort me? Because they give me what I need to have when I need to have it. Discipline on one side, comfort on the other side. And that's important. This is one line in one psalm. And we could keep going on this, but we're not going to do that right now because we have other things we want to cover today. But you see, you have to understand what it is that you're saying. When you're davening, when you're doing Tehillim, you have to understand. In davening, most people have, if they do not read Hebrew fluently, if they are not fluent in Hebrew, they have an English translation they can look to for reference to give them an idea, at least basically what they're saying. If you were to go through line by line every single day, slowly going through everything that you're trying to understand, you'd be praying for a very, very long time. Matter of fact, there wouldn't be much time between Shacharis, Mincha, and Mariv. So we can't do it then. So what do? I told him, Chad, you know what you should do? I want you to take out a book of Psalms, one that you don't mind marking up a little bit with a little bit of a yellow marker. Okay? Go through the ones first that are in Tikkun HaKlali. There's only 10. There's only 10 of them there. Start with the first and go through one by one by one. And I want you to go through it, each one, line by line. And I don't want you just to say the words. I want you to think, what do these words mean? What do these words mean? And how does it apply to me? And when you see something that speaks to you, highlight it in yellow. Because you're going to come back to it later on. And you're going to see, why does this speak to you? Why is this line, of all the lines in this Tehillim, why does this line speak to me? And you're going to come back and you'll find out why. Okay? And that's what you're going to do through the whole psalm. Not while you're doing, not when you're doing Tikkun HaKlali. You can't take the time. You'd be doing Tikkun HaKlali for 4 or 5 hours. Do it at a time when you have time to just look at it and pause for a second. Maybe after you do your Hitbodedut, before you do your Hitbodedut, before you go to bed, first thing in the morning, before you go to daven. You can do these things at any time. They're not time sensitive. Take it out, line by line, by line, by line. You should understand what it is you're saying. Because if you don't understand what it is you're saying, how in heaven's name are you ever going to understand what it means and how it affects you? And that's the importance here, is to figure out how it affects you. These aren't just words. These are words in Psalms, particularly of King David for the most part, but of 9 other psalmists who wrote these words. They're important. That's why there's 150. If every single psalm, every single piece of poetry, every single song was so important, we have a book of thousands and thousands of psalms. We have 150, which should give you an idea of the importance of each and every one of these psalms. So make sure that you begin to understand what it is you're saying. Why are you saying it? Why does it relate to you? And what can you take from it to make you a better person? What is a better person? What is it Hashem wants? Well, oddly enough, a couple weeks ago in Micah, the book of Micah, at the end, there was something that tells you exactly what Hashem wants. It was the Haftorah. And the Haftorah says at the end, "It has been told to you, O man, what is good, and what the Lord requires of you. Only," notice the word only, "to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God." Walk humbly. Remember who's in charge. It's not you. I have people all the time say, you should do this to make money. You should do that to make money. When they go to the Hitbodedut, they say, Hashem, please get me a raise at work. Why would you limit yourself like that? Don't limit yourself. You let Hashem decide how he can do it to you. Does it matter to you where your parnasa comes from? If it comes from a job, does it come from winning a lottery? If it comes from people who love you and just love to give you money, whatever it is, does it matter to you where it comes from? No, of course not. You want the end result, and the end result comes from Hashem. Don't tell him his job. He knows it better than you do. He knows where the money's going to come from. He knew on Rosh Hashanah when he decided how much you were going to make in the coming year. He knew then where the money was going to come from. You see, you could sell yourself short. You could say, Hashem, I really need a new car. I'd love a new Volkswagen. It would be great. And Hashem could look down on you and go, that's great, Tachi, but I was going to give you a Mercedes, but since you want a Volkswagen, okay, I'll see what I can do about that. So why would you want to put yourself in a position where you don't get exactly what you should be getting, the best of what you should be getting? You should be getting everything that you're told that you should be getting according to Hashem, not according to you, according to him. He knows. We guess. We have no idea. We don't know. Nothing is owed to us. Nothing. We owe Hashem, all of us, more than we can ever repay in many, many lifetimes. But we want to walk humbly with Hashem. That means we understand he's in charge. Not us. He's the one who decides, not us. We can ask. In our Hitbodedut, the last half hour, you can spend your time asking for anything, physical, spiritual, etc. I strongly suggest the spiritual, the physical will come to you. And on the physical, I would keep my requests very, very general in most cases. There's a story once about Rabbi Nosson coming to Rabbi Nachman. He was missing a button. And Rabbi Nachman said to him, what's the matter? You're too good to ask Hashem for a button? Something like that, specific. When it comes to things like your parnasa, when it comes to things like your health, your happiness, your shalom bayit, more general. You want the most general. And then you give Hashem all the latitude in the world to give you what you want. You see, if Hashem wants to give you something, particularly of a money nature, a monetary nature, and you keep checking your checkbook online every 15 minutes? Where have you given him the room to work? You haven't. You have given him no room to work. Give him the room. Ask and assume that what is coming to you, he'll make sure that you get. So that's what you want to do, is you want to understand what you're asking for, understand what you're saying, and if you do, it's going to be much more meaningful to you, much more meaningful to him, and that's where you want to be when you're talking to the creator of the universe. So until next time, everybody have a great Shabbos, a great week ahead. Be blessed, all my friends. All the best to you and all of your family members and all those closest to you, and I'll see you next time. God bless. Bye-bye.